Hey everybody, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you're here. Y'all, today we're gonna be talking about our December to-do list for the garden. And I know you're like, girl, it's cold outside. We don't have a to-do list for the garden. We on break. We are not on break. We are not on break. We have things that we still need to do. Now, it's not gonna be a heavy lift, but it is gonna be some lifting. So if you thought that you did not have anything to do until next summer, let me help you. You stand corrected. On this video, I'm gonna give you 10 things that I wanna make sure that you put on your list to do in the month of December for the garden. So if you're brand new here, my name is Barbara. I live in Tennessee and I'm in zone 7B. And yes, it is cold where I am too. Matter of fact, today it's like cold and dreary outside. I did go to the garden and harvest yesterday and it was cold and dreary and rainy and all the stuff. I think the high for this particular week is going to be like 45 is the highest it's going to get, and it's getting all the way down to the 20s at night. So yes, we're spending a lot of time in the house being cozy. But y'all, look at this right here. Look. I'm in my sunroom. Y'all know that when it's time to start seeds, this is like planting station. It's not time to start seeds quite yet. But I got work to do out here. And so I was thinking about, okay, this is what I have to do. And what I try to do is just to kind of share with you, again, my journey. So if you're new here, it's called A Gardener's Journey because I'm sharing with you simply my journey I've been on YouTube now for about 4 years. And I've just been sharing my journey. So I share with you what I learned, what I do, the things that go well, the things that don't go well. And so you're just literally walking hand by hand in me with my journey. With that being said, y'all, this is the stuff that I got on this list is actually my to-do list, okay? But I'm sharing it with you because if you're a gardener like me, you got to do the exact same things. So on this channel, one of the things that I do talk about a lot is being intentional, efficient, and organized. So if that's your jam, you're in the right place because we garden, but we garden in a very intentional, organized, and efficient way. On this channel, we talk about gardening mostly, but also we talk about other parts of homesteading like growing your own food, DIY, doing it yourself, and making stuff yourself. We talk about food preservation. We talk about baking with sourdough, and now y'all, we're gonna be talking about baking with fresh meal flour. That will be coming up definitely more in 2026, but that's what this channel is all about. And so 365 days a year, 12 months out of the year, y'all, we got stuff to do. We have stuff to do. So let's jump into the December garden to-do list. Now, let me just say on the outset, as a disclaimer, this is my list. This is like a real list of stuff that I'm doing in December. And the reason why I wanted to do this video at the top of the month is because, as you guys all know, we just celebrated Thanksgiving, right? And then Christmas, Kwanzaa, and all the other holidays, all of the other holidays are all upon us, no matter what you celebrate or even if you don't celebrate. We know that December is a busy time of the year as we're wrapping up the year, getting ready for a new year. And so one of the things that I like to do at the first of the month is to think about what does my month entail on a bigger scale. Then obviously I can look at my personal calendar and say, okay, what weeks or what days are better for X, Y, and Z. And so I encourage you to do the same. So before you have all your weekend Christmas parties, before you decorating your tree, before you doing all the December type things, and maybe you don't celebrate holidays, I guarantee you still busy. But before you doing all the things, I want to make sure before the new year rolls in that you don't just sit down and take off the month of December and do nothing, because there's some stuff that we can do now that'll position us even better as gardeners for the spring and summer 2026 season. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Okay, let's get to it. Okay, so I have my list. Y'all, my table. Y'all, it's organized. My table is organized because remember, you and I, we did this together. So we got it to the point where it's organized, meaning they are in stacks of a like kind. We just haven't taken the next step, but that's what we're gonna be doing this month. And so I had to come up to my sunroom on, okay, I gotta get this stuff together. But before I do, let me share with the people my list of stuff. So number one on the list for December, if you are a gardener, number one is I wanna make sure that you've ordered your seed catalogs. Y'all, now look, I told you on a previous video, I am enjoying this slowdown season. The fall and winter is, again, I'm still gardening. I got plenty of food. If you're new here, we have a high tunnel that we grow in primarily for the fall and winter. And y'all, it is full of food, full of food. So I'm still gardening. But when I tell you it's a slowdown, it's a slowdown. When I tell you it's a slowdown, it's a slowdown. I'm out in the garden a couple of days a week, 3 if we good, right? But 2 days a week to check on things, lay my eyes on things, harvest, and all the things. There's just not much to do, right? But we still get the benefit of having food because we did all of the work on the front end. But it's time to be starting to just think about just a little bit about next year. And so you want to order your seed catalogs. And so that is very simple. Most of them, 99% of them are free. The only one that I know of that you have to pay for is Baker Creek, and that is if you want the extended, expanded version. They put together like a big, thick, whole seed catalog book that's like, I think 200 pages, all in color. If you want that one, you can pay for it, but they also have one that is free, that is a much smaller, condensed version that is free, as well as all of the other seed companies will have one that they will send you unless they don't have one that's physical. I know that in my garden, he does his online. He doesn't have a physical book, but I usually order my seed catalogs from Baker Creek, from Johnny's, from Territorial Seed, Botanical Interest. Those are usually the top 4. Oh, and High Mowing Seeds. I don't talk a lot about High Mowing Seeds, and I don't buy a lot of their seeds, but they are a good quality seed. It's just not one of the ones that come, top of mind for me, and I usually only go there when there's something specific that I want that I can't find somewhere else. But those are usually the 5 top ones that I order, and all you have to do is go on their individual websites, and it's usually on the front page, it'll say request a seed catalog. You put your email address in there, boom, and then within 2 to 3 weeks, you'll have one arriving in your door. So I need to make sure that I've checked, like I've already started to get, I think I got Territorial Seed in already, and Baker Creek, the smaller one in. I did buy the big Baker Creek one year. It was a lot. It was a lot. And for me, it was too much. But if you like that, then definitely go ahead and spend the money and get it if you've never done it before. But the condensed version usually works for me when it comes to Baker Creek. So I've already got Baker Creek in. I've already gotten Territorial Seed in. And so I got to make sure that I've done the others. And usually they come in the month of December. And my routine is that usually the week after Christmas is when I sit down and go through seed catalogs and make my big orders for the spring and summer. That is my routine because that's what works with my schedule. But you do whatever works best for you. But I cannot think about that the week after Christmas if I have not thought about it now and actually order the catalogs so that they come and so that I have them in my hand the week after Christmas. So that's why I said now, if you haven't done that, just put that on your list to go ahead and order your seed catalogs if you have not done so. If there is another seed company that you use that I did not mention and they have a seed catalog, then please put it down below for all of us so that we can go get that one too if we want to add to our collection. But the top 5 I do are Johnny's, Baker Creek, Botanical Interest, Territorial Seed, and High Mowing Seeds. Those are the 5 that I normally do, okay? So that's number 1, is to order your seed catalogs. Number 2 is I want you to take seed inventory and make a list of what you have and what you don't have, okay? That list can be manual, it can be electronic, it can be eyeball, but if you're gonna eyeball it, then at least write down what your eyes see at the time that you're seeing it, right? Don't eyeball it now on December the 1st or December the 2nd and like, oh yeah, I think I got 5 sunflower seeds packs. Oh, I think I need 2, because you will forget when it comes time to ordering seeds. Now, I'm like you. There's never enough seeds, right? You can't ever have too many seeds. I'm in that camp, y'all. I'm on your side. But however, I want you, before you order your seeds for next year, I want you to at least know what you have and what you don't have. Do not open the seed catalogs. Do not go on your computer and start ordering seeds and you have not looked at your seeds. You're going to buy more than what you need, and you're going to buy duplicates of stuff that you don't even need. How do I know? Been there, done that. Did that the first year. You must go in with a plan if you want to minimize your economical damage. Now, keep in mind, all seeds are good seeds. You never can have too many seeds. You can always give them away like yada, yada, yada. Yep. I understand and I believe all of that. However, we want to be good stewards. So as a good steward, at least put your eyes on what you have. And so that you at least order the stuff that you don't have first. And then you want to add some other stuff in your cart, go right ahead. But to go in without a plan is not good. Because you will spend more than you wanted. And then you'll be like, oh man, I already have 15 cucumbers. I don't need any more cucumbers, right? And then also look at your seeds. Even though seeds don't expire, they do lose their viability, which means that if you have seeds that are 5 years old, it's very likely that you're going to have to put more than one seed in the ground to germinate or to start that seed, because it is going to lose viability over time. Not that it's not going to germinate, but you may need 3 seeds to germinate versus the 1 seed. So take a look when you're doing your inventory at seeds that you've had for, let's say, at least 5 years, and maybe plan to, even if you want to order some new ones, maybe plan to use those older seeds first. I've been trying to do that. Now, y'all, I've only been gardening for five years. And so next year will be my 6th year, which is crazy. But so the most old my seeds are 5 years old, because that's when I started gardening. I have very few that were dated 2020, and then I have maybe, I would say 15% dated 2021, because I've been using my seeds, y'all, and I give them away and all the things. But I still have some dated 2020 and 2021. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm looking at that, and I probably will set those off to the side so that I want to use them up first, okay? So that's another thing. So number 2 is take seed inventory, however you do that, so that you have a list at least of, man, I'm completely out of these things. I definitely need to order those. And then I may need 1 or 2 more of, X, Y, and Z. Okay. So that's number 2, is go through your seed inventory and make a list of what you have. And then also make a list of what you want. I keep a running list in my phone of new seeds that I want to try. So if I hear something on YouTube, if you guys tell me something like, Barbara, you want to try this, I put a note in my phone so that when it's time to order seeds, at the end of this year or next year, I have a list of seeds that I've already identified that I want to make sure that I try. Okay. So that's number 2, is take seed inventory. Number 3 is this: order your onion slips if you are not growing your own onions for next year. I always do that usually in this time frame. I've already ordered my onion slips. I did that a month ago. So if you have not done that and you're not going to start your own onion seeds, then order your onion slips now. If you want to be like me, then order your onion slips from Dale Farms. I have been using them for the last 5 years. I don't typically grow my own onion seeds. I just have not had success. I have some growing out there right now in one of my beds back there that I'm just overwintered. I'm just trying it. They actually sprouted. I'm like, oh, okay. But your girl has already ordered her some onion slips. So I get mine from Dale Farms. The one thing that I love about Dale, or 2 things I love, is 1, they're always consistent. I've never had an issue. All of their stuff grows well. You can buy them in bundles. And I think in the bundle, they guarantee at least 60 to 70 of the slips in a bundle. But I usually get anywhere from like 85 to 100 in a bundle. It's always more than 60 to 70, always. I've never had any problems with any of their stuff growing. And then the other thing that I love is that you can actually pick the week that they ship. So yes, you're ordering them now, but if you don't know, you plant your onions in the spring. And usually for me, I plant mine around the last part of February, first week of March, and then I'm harvesting them by the end of May. The ones that I do candy onions primarily, and they usually take about 100 days. So that's kind of my time frame, but you can pick the week that they ship, which is beautiful. And also it has a map on there to tell you what type of onions you need to order, whether it's long day onions, short day onions, or intermediate onions. I won't go into a whole spiel about that because this is not an onion video, but it has plenty of information on the site. So Dale Farms, I am not affiliated with them whatsoever, so I don't have a code, but I do absolutely stand behind. If they had an affiliate link, you better believe I would have one, because y'all have heard me talk about Dale for the last 5 years. That is what I grow in my own garden, and those are the only onion slips that I can definitely stand behind that I've grown and that has done well consistently, okay? So order your onion slips if you have not done that yourself, if you're not gonna grow them yourself. Number 4 is make sure that you are mulching and covering your beds. Number 1, if you are actively growing something now for the fall and winter, then make sure that your beds are obviously mulched. But if you're not growing and you took a rest break for the fall and winter, make sure that your beds are at least mulched, right? Do not just have your soil out there bare and just out in the open like, here I am. No, no, no. Cover your bed. So you can mulch it with leaves, you can mulch it with hay, with straw, with pine shavings, whatever it is that you normally use. Just make sure that it's something that is weed free, but you want to make sure that you mulch and cover your beds. And then especially if you have plants in there, you want to mulch. The mulch is going to help with moisture retention. It's also going to help with heat retention in the frigid cold temperatures. And so make sure that you're mulching and covering your beds, okay? So now we're at number 5, okay? So number 5 is kind of multifaceted. The overall heading is this, is you want to purchase the items that you need for the summer. Now you may be saying, well, why would I purchase that now in December? I'm telling you again, this is my personal list. I'm sharing with you what I do. You take the parts that's good, the parts that don't apply to you, throw them out. But if this applies to you, the reason why I start purchasing stuff now is because I like to spread out my cost. Now, for me, I'm growing in very large spaces. I have this space back here, then I have 2 other spaces. And so my cost in terms of things that I need, infrastructure and things like that, can get really high really quick. If you're gardening in a small space, and your costs are going to be much, much lower than mine. But I still say, if you can, make a list of the things that you need. And for me, I just try not to buy it all at one time. In the summertime, we spend a lot of money maintaining the garden. Now, obviously, we have a farm business, and praise the Lord, the farm actually takes care of itself. For the last 2 years, with our farm business and with the support of you guys, the farm is able to take care of itself. So whatever that we need for the farm, we're able to use the income that we get from the farm. Now, the farm ain't paying us. Now, let's be clear about that. But the farm is able to take care of itself. It's coming. It's coming. I declare and decree it's coming. But back on point, Barbara, back on point. For the items that we have to purchase in the summer, we spend a lot of money in the summer, whether it is more drip tape, whether it is new raised bed, whatever it is, there's always a lot of money shelling out in the spring and the summer, trellises and all that stuff. And so in the fall and the winter, because the garden season has slowed down quite a bit, then our costs are not nearly as high or, even really non-existent. So for me, I try to buy something every month to help ease the burden of the summer. So what do I mean by that? So when it comes to, if I'm going to expand my garden, and that could look like drip tape, that could look like a new trellising system, that could look like a new raised bed, whatever it is, because every year I got a project, I'm doing something, then I'm usually buying that stuff in the fall and winter when I don't have already other money being shelled out for the garden. Does that make sense? So you can't see right now, but inside my house right now at the time of this video is a Vego garden raised bed. Yes, ma'am. My daughter was home. She put it together for me last week, and we just have not been able to take it outside yet. So it's like sitting in my family room. I know, y'all, that's so messy. That's so messed up. But look, it was after Thanksgiving. It's only been a few days. It's been raining. It's been cold. And my husband just hasn't had a chance to, him and my son, to take it out there. But it's going this week. It's going this week, okay? But I got a whole Vego garden raised bed in my family room because I bought it. Because again, remember, I'm adding raised beds to my outside garden along that perimeter. Remember, I'm building that up. And so I usually eke out and can buy 1 or 2 beds over the fall and winter, and that's how I've been able to build it up. You guys have seen me do it. Like, everything that I'm saying, you guys have seen me do. You don't see me buy 6 beds at a time and set them up, right? Some of the beds, again, that I have out there, they were part of a, promotion, and I was given the bed by the company. But a lot of those beds I bought with my own, like the one that's in my living room, I bought that, right? I bought that. And so it's easier for me to buy it in the fall and winter when my costs are much lower than me to buy it in the summer. The whole point is that the things that you need, and I wrote down a few things to kind of just jog your thinking about things that you can be buying now. Number one, soil test kits. Now I know, me and you and I, y'all, we got to think with these soil test kits, because every time I talk about them soil test kits, y'all get real quiet. Y'all get real quiet. I do a video on soil testing, y'all be like, I'm not watching that. It's funny to me because that's one of the most important things, is to test your soil. And so in August, when y'all looking at me side eye, be like, Barbara, why your stuff looking X, Y, and Z and mine don't look like yours? And I'm like, well, what you put in your soil and you don't even know what's in your soil? I ain't gonna say nothing else. What I'm gonna say is that if you want to test your soil next spring, and I highly suggest you do, buy you some soil test kits now. So let me go back. So I get my soil test kits from mysoiltest.com right now, and this might be the last day at the time of this video. I think they're 15% off. I usually always buy mine this time of the year. I buy two, and that way I already have it when it's time for the spring. Okay, so on the soil test kit, you can get them from mysoiltest.org, I think, but they also sell them on Amazon, and they're in my Amazon shop. So if you go to the description box, you can go to my Amazon store, and they are in there. Also, going back on the Vego garden raised bed that I just bought. The reason that I bought it is because they're having a 50% off sale. Now, everything is not 50% off. It's up to 50% off. So on the Vego garden bed, I went ahead and bought it now. One, because I like to buy those type of things in the fall and winter when my costs are low. But also, I bought it that particular time because my daughter was home, and I knew that she would put it together for me. And then also they were having a sale. So I was able to get it like $70, $80 off. Plus I use my own code. So I do have an affiliate code for Vego Garden. You can get $10 off your order no matter what. And then there are certain times of the year, one being now, is you can get 5% off. So either 5% off your total order or $10 off your order. And so those codes are down in the description box below. They're always there whenever you want to use them. So I would definitely say for Vego Garden, they're having Black Friday sale, and then Cyber Monday sale at the time of this video is going on. It's the last day, so definitely go ahead and get in your beds now, or whatever you see that you want, and you can use my discount code. Plus, it's already on sale. The other thing is we do have the Vego Garden giveaway that'll be happening on Tuesday, December the 2nd. So I will either go live or put it down in the description or in a post and who won the $300 gift giveaway. So that's one thing. So raised beds. If you know that you're expanding your garden in 2026, it's a great time to go ahead and buy that now. Soil test kits. Also think about any pots, or if you want to invest in more pots, you want to start seeds for the first time, or you need more pots to do more seeds next year. It's a good time to buy them now. A lot of the companies are having sales because it's the end of the year. So either they have clearance or stock they need to get rid of, or they're having sales just because, of course, their sales are down because it's not the summertime. So they're offering things at more of a discount. So check Bootstrap Farmer, check Epic Gardening. He has a big sale going on right now as well. I also have an affiliate code for Epic Gardening that's also down in the description box below, where you can get 5% off of your order. So think about if you need pots, if you need trays, if you need lights. So like when you think about your seed starting setup, a lot of you tried it for the first time last year. You got what you could, which is great. If you want to expand and get more lights this year, maybe you go ahead and buy a light now. So again, I'm always thinking intentionally and efficiently about what can I get now? When is it on sale? Or instead of me buying 4 grow lights at one time, maybe I'll buy 1 a month, right? Everybody's finances are set up differently. Everybody has to budget differently. And so I think being mindful and thinking of things ahead of time, you can save yourself some money, and you may be able to get things when you piecemeal it or piece it over time versus trying to get it all at the same time, especially in the summer and especially when the costs are a bit higher. Okay, so number 5 is purchase items that you need for the summer. Be thinking about, do you need more landscape fabric? Do you need more drip tape? Do you need another raised bed? You know, and take advantage of the sales that's already going on right now. Okay. Even down on my list, I put pruners and labels. I usually buy that stuff now so that I have it when seed starting season starts, especially the labels. I always run out of labels, and then I have to wait 4 or 5 days, you know, for Amazon to get me some new labels. And so because I've been through that a couple of times, I just always have extra now, and I always order in advance, okay? So let's move on to number 6, which is to protect your plants. So if you're actively gardening right now and you have fall and winter crops, making sure that you're always watching the temperature in your area and that you're protecting your plants accordingly. So if you need to put your row cover on, if you need to put down the size of your high tunnel or your greenhouse, close windows, whatever you need to do. But then also if you're not gardening, but let's say you have some perennials that are affected by temperature that you need to cover, or fruit trees or things like that, making sure that you have on mind this month to protect your plants, whatever that looks like for you. If it's plants in your landscape, where there's native plants, perennials, whatever the case may be, that's number 6, is making sure that you protect your plants. Number 7 is plan for spring and summer gardening. What do I mean by that? I want you to start thinking about your layout and what you need and where you're going to place things. So if you're a new gardener, this may be a very new task for you in terms of trying to figure out where things are going to go. If you're not a new gardener, maybe you're expanding next year, you have more space, or maybe some things didn't quite work out last year. Maybe you had your stuff too crowded, and that's why you didn't have success. I want you to be thinking about your space and planning out your garden layout now. So that way, why is that important? It's important because before you start seeds or before you buy transplants, you should have an idea of what things you're going to plant, where they're going to go, so that way you know how many of them you need, okay? All of this is not just good to say, it is good to do. And I'm telling you, this is how I plan and function my garden, okay? Part of my success, whatever success that you see me having, is because I try to be very intentional and very efficient, very planful, and very organized. I have to be, because gardening is not my full-time job, right? And so my time is limited just like yours. And so in order for me to maximize my time, these are the things that I do ahead of the curve. So I want you to start working on your garden layout, whether it's you just scratching it, sketching it out on a piece of paper, whether you're thinking through like, you know what, I had my tomatoes here last year. That didn't quite go so well. They didn't get enough sun. So I'm going to swap and put lettuce there and put my tomatoes over there. Be thinking about what your layout is going to be for next year. That's number 7. Number 8 is you should be preserving food from your summer garden if you have stuff that you have stored up. So for example, I know a lot of you, like me, when you get your tomatoes in during the summer, for me, I don't have time to process my tomatoes in the summertime. And so I put them in freezer bags, and then I process them in the fall. Now, I've already done the bulk of mine already. I didn't show that on video, I don't think, this time. But I've already made mine into sauces and things like that. But if you haven't done that, here is just a reminder for you to get the stuff that's out of your freezer and that you need to make sauces, tomatoes, whether you bought fruit in bulk and you need to make jams and jellies, whatever it is, go ahead and try to preserve that stuff in whatever state you're going to eat it in. One, it's going to help clear out your freezer. So that way, when it comes time for the spring and summer harvest, your freezer is not stocked and you're like, oh man, I never did anything with that stuff, or oh, it's freezer burn, or oh, it's too bad. So think about the things that you need to preserve. I know for me, a lot of times I'll like harvest my kale and my spinach and, my herbs and stuff. And sometimes I may put them in the freezer if I don't have time to put them in the freeze dryer. I want to make sure, again, that I'm pulling that stuff out, and one, that I'm using it. So if I've frozen kale and spinach, I want to make sure that I'm pulling that out to cook or to put in smoothies, and so that it's not just in my freezer. Also, I've freeze dried a lot of herbs. This is the time of the year that I'm making my spice blends, right? And so I'm taking the herbs that I've already freeze dried and preserved, but I'm now going to take it to the next step into a way that I'm going to actually consume it or use it via the way of spice blends. I'm also making a lot of hot sauces and things like that, pulling the peppers out of my freezer and making them into their final product. So that is number 8, is to preserve the food from your summer garden, okay? Number 9 is continue to build up your compost. If you are composting, keep your scraps, not keep them, but collect your scraps and still keep adding to your compost bin. Now, of course, with the temperatures being a lot colder, your compost is going to move and deteriorate slower, right? But that doesn't mean that you just don't keep adding to it. I keep adding to mine. I still turn it. I don't turn it as often. I don't add water as often. Like, I don't pay as much attention to it, but I'm making sure that I keep it active, and it's a way for me to use my scraps and not just put them in the trash, right? And so we have several compost piles out on the property as I'm harvesting things out of my garden. In the high tunnel, if I'm pulling, old leaves or, the roots of things, either I'm letting them compost in place in the bed, or I'm putting them in my compost bin that's right outside of my greenhouse. If I'm cooking in the house, then I'll collect a bag of, food scraps or things that I've, like the broccoli stalks or stems, that I put that in my compost bin out here. So that's number 9, is continue to compost and make sure that you're doing that. If you're not composting, this is a great time to start during this time of the year, or to learn about how to compost, okay? And then finally, number 10 is making sure that you're cleaning and storing your garden tools, okay? So I call it winterizing. So when it comes to cleaning, I get my pots and my trays, I make sure that they are clean, so that when it's time for seed starting or spring and summer planting, I am ready to go. And so again, all of some of this list does not have to be done in the same day. It may be, I have an hour this weekend and I'm going to rinse all of my pots or put them in my dishwasher and get them clean. Now, all the pots can't go in the dishwasher. Only the Epic Gardening ones that I have can go in the dishwasher on the top rack. But cleaning your tools, also your pruners, your garden tools, don't leave them out in the elements all winter long, especially if you're not gardening this fall and winter. Bring those things in so that they can be away from the elements, so that they don't rust, so that you don't have to go find some WD-40, so they still open, so they still work, and you just protect your stuff a lot longer. Now for me, I'm still gardening, so I still got pruners and garden tools in my greenhouse. But my favorite pruners that I love, and the ones that I paid the most money for, they stay usually in my house or in my car, right? So at least they're not going to be out in the elements per se all winter long, and I don't know where they are. So that's kind of what I do. But make sure that you bring your stuff in, that you're turning off your faucets, whatever it is, because everybody has different temperatures wherever you are. Now for my Florida and California people, this may not apply to you as much, but making sure that you are cleaning your stuff, that does apply to you, and that you are storing the stuff if you're in a really cold area, so that you don't leave it out in the elements, okay? So y'all, that's our list. That is our top 10 things to do for the month of December for our gardens. What I want to know is, tell me what on the list that you're going to commit to do. If you're going to commit to all 10, great. You may not need to do all 10, but let me know that if there's one thing that you heard me say that jogged something for you, that you're like, oh, I definitely need to do that. Oh, yep, she's right. I didn't do that last year. Whatever the case may be, let me know the one tip that was helpful for you and that you're going to put on your list to do for the month of December. I cannot wait to see your responses. Y'all, this is all part of the journey. As a gardener, we don't get off, right? Now you can take time off. Let me rephrase that. You can take time off, because I know many of you are not doing the fall and winter gardening. That's okay. But as a gardener, You should always be thinking about the next season. You should be thinking about, okay, what am I going to improve? What am I going to do different? And that's how you get better at your craft. That's how you get better at anything in life. No matter what title you want to put on it, those are the things that you have to do. So I hope that this video was helpful for you. Put down in the comments the one tip that stood out to you that you're definitely going to do. And y'all remember, this is all part of the journey. If you haven't subscribed to my channel and you love this content, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. Y'all, did y'all see that we made 20,000 subscribers? Oh my goodness. Thank you guys so much. I do not take it for granted that you tune in every time that I post. I don't take for granted that you're listening to me driving down the road, that you're listening to me in your house while you're cooking, or you're sitting down purposely to say, look, it's my barber time. I'm going to listen to her. I do not take it for granted. I appreciate each and every one of you so very much. I hope that you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope that you have a wonderful upcoming holiday season. I'm not going nowhere. I'm going to still be here, right? I'm going to still be here. And so definitely subscribe if you're not part of the community. But with everything, y'all, remember, it's a journey, but let's do it together. I'll see you next time, friend.